Well, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. As Benjamin Netanyahu arrives at the White House for talks with Donald Trump on Tuesday, another conflict is beginning to overlap with the war in Ukraine. Iran is threatening retaliation after accusing Kiev of striking an Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea, while Ukraine argues it targeted military supply networks supporting Russia, highlighting how today's security crises are becoming increasingly interconnected. Joining us now to get the latest is Marcin Krzyżanowski, a Middle East expert at Jagiellonian University. Good to have you back with us. So let's jump right into this meeting that's happening on Tuesday. Israel's Netanyahu and his ally, or let's say difficult ally, Donald Trump. What do you expect when these two are meeting, and how much of a bridge do you see of these conflicts also connecting with also Ukraine involved now more and more with Iran?
For sure, the meeting will be tense, as Prime Minister Netanyahu surely will try to push President Trump to renew the conflict with Iran. At the moment, we don't have a truce, but just state where the two sides decided to stop shooting. So the situation is very fragile, and considering the blockade Strait of Hormuz and possible blockade of the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, it is a very delicate situation for the global economy. And the case of Ukrainian attack on the Iranian ship only add more tension to that complicated situation. Although I don't think that the tensions between Ukraine and Iran will grow bigger in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Interesting word to use there, tension. Let's also focus on that for a moment. This was actually just said by Donald Trump. I believe he was en route back to Washington, told this to reporters, and someone pressed him on Netanyahu's objections about the F-35s that he wants to give to Turkey. And this has been ongoing for quite some time. And Donald Trump responded into, nobody tells me what to do or who should we be selling to. I'm basically brushing off Netanyahu there. How much does that complicate this relationship between these two countries?
It is a huge problem, as for Israel, the maintenance of dominance in the air hegemony in the region is crucial from the security perspective. Obtaining F-35 by any third country in the region, especially country which is at the moment a little bit hostile, at least verbally, to Israel, is a threat to the security of the country, is perceived as a threat for the security of the country. So Prime Minister Netanyahu is trying to push President Trump into decision to refuse the selling of air fighters to Turkey.
Mm-hmm. And also staying with that, I mean, quite the strong statement by President Trump. He really wants his own way. And I'm just also connected to weapons and the defense review that actually the Pentagon has launched. This is supposed to have now kicked off from Monday, and looking at U.S. forces in Europe and what that means for the balance of power. What do you expect of that review? I mean, we're not clear yet exactly what the tangible, let's say, results of that will be. What do you think it means for European forces, also with the Americans' presence? How will that play out as we get more of that in the next potentially weeks?
I think the Europe will receive more pressure from United States to help United States to resolve conflict with Iran and to unblock the Strait of Hormuz. For United States military, Iranian challenge is more challenging than they previously anticipated. So the situation is unfavorable for Europe, as the Middle East conflict is draining United States resources, and the more resources are fired up in the Middle East, the less will be available for the different part of the world, including Europe, which at the moment is at not the best terms, less to say, with President Trump.
Mm-hmm. And I want to tie back to a little bit what you've already alluded to with the Iranians as well and the Ukrainians. I mean, we're still getting information about this strike in the Caspian Sea a few days ago. That's when the Ukrainians allegedly struck a ship that they claim was carrying supplies to Russia, military supplies to Russia from Iran. Now, the Iranians have ratcheted up their rhetoric, also saying that this cannot go unanswered. Also, the foreign minister of Iran saying this. What do you make of this? I mean, is this more talk? I mean, do the Iranians realistically have anything that, would they go so far as to also do something against Ukraine, or how do you see this play out?
And there is a small chance that Iran will try directly hit Ukrainian assets, although, in my opinion, at the moment it's only a theoretical scenario. In the Iranian arsenal, you can find some rockets and drones that theoretically have enough range to hit southern Ukraine, but I don't think so. I don't think Iran will be willing to escalate the conflict on the higher level. Iran most probably will focus on supporting Russia and providing technologies and cooperation in the drone manufacturing industry rather than directly hit Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's curious because most viewers have been watching what's going on as well. We associate very much with this Ukraine war a lot in the Black Sea. Now, this is the Caspian. So why is this waterway important? I mean, it's an inland waterway, so it doesn't connect to any other bodies of water. But why does this matter so much? And I'm just curious how much, if anything, of a threat that might be. I mean, there's oil and gas developments over on the side of Azerbaijan. So how much of a spillover potential does this have?
No one among the countries bordering the Caspian Sea is happy about the recent attack. The Caspian Sea is a huge reservoir of oil and gas, and also a very important waterway. It's a huge, very important, very vital transport corridor for Russia and Ukraine, and also for Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. Any disruption in the maritime movement in the area is a threat to the best interests of those countries. And all of the countries involved are trying to mitigate Iranians and Ukrainians to avoid further escalation.
Mm-hmm. Further escalation, I mean, it's hard to, if we look at the headlines, I mean, we see that more and more strikes, I mean, a tit for tat between Russia and Ukraine. Now we have this in the Caspian as well. Also kind of interesting that these two leaders, we have President Zelenskyy as well being received by Donald Trump in the White House at the same time. First, I think he'll meet Benjamin Netanyahu. So what kind of, let's say, expectations are there for President Zelenskyy? Do you think that given what's been going on these last weeks with these strikes, long-range strikes by the Ukrainians, what kind of mood will Trump be in? Will he give more to Zelenskyy?
That's very good and very important question, and a lot will depend on the day and the humor of President Trump during the meeting. For sure, President Zelenskyy will try to convince President Trump that there is a direct connection between a conflict in Ukraine, war with Russia, and conflict in the Middle East, conflict with Iran. He will try to portray Russia and Iran as some kind of unified alliance, and will try to convince President Trump that hitting Russia, putting more pressure onto Russia, will be also a blow to Iran. And to be honest, at the moment, he has every chance to convince President Trump to this opinion, as the war with Iran is in a stalemate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think with that stalemate, just if we look at it for the next few weeks, and we've had a lull in the fighting right now in Iran. The Americans have not actually run any campaigns the last few days. Do you think that's going to carry on, or will we see a resurgence in the fighting, you think?
I think sooner or later we will face a resurgence in the fight. And at the moment, the conflict is only temporarily frozen. The Strait of Hormuz is still blocked by Iran, which is totally unacceptable for the United States. So, as I said, sooner or later the rockets will fly again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also have the complications on the Red Sea there with the Houthi rebels now with the Caspian. So a lot of choke points there, but we'll discuss that another time. Look, thanks so much. Always a pleasure having you. Marcin Krzyżanowski there from Jagiellonian University. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here. Have a nice day.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but do stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.